Hello everyone. Welcome to yet another amazing session of the Tech Pod with Learnbay. I'm your host Pritesh, and our guest for today is all the way from New Jersey, USA, Mr. Gabriel Appleton. A graduate in economics and philosophy, Gabriel is currently the co-founder of Vumonic Datalabs, which is based out of Estonia, Europe. So please join me in welcoming Gabriel Appleton. Hi Gabriel.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Great, I'm fine. Thank you so much. So, how are you?
Yeah, doing well. Just getting used to being back in India right now. So,
Great, great. So, Gabriel, Vumonic Labs, as I got to know, it is based out of Estonia, Europe. So, what brings you to Bangalore?
yes, so we have a team that works here in Bangalore.
Okay.
The company is registered in Estonia, and yeah, we've been doing business for almost 5 years now. My co founder is from Chennai, and I met him in Bangalore when I was traveling here like 5 years ago. So, that's kind of how we met and stuff. Yeah.
That's interesting. Can you please tell us a little about yourself, your childhood? How was your academic journey, and how did you, land up being the co-founder of Vumonic Labs, which you are successfully running since 5 years?
Yeah, sure. So, growing up, I mostly was just playing sports and hanging out with friends, playing soccer and snowboarding, and playing a lot of video games. And then in university, I didn't take school very seriously, but I took a interest in economics and philosophy in the latter part of my studies. Then towards the end of university, I started a small company, which was a moving and storage company. So that was in 2013. By the time 2017 came, we had sold that, and I didn't have any real I didn't have to go get hired by anyone, because I had that company. So once we sold that, I came and I traveled to India, and I was planning to just backpack here for a bit and then go back and go to grad school or find a job at a big FANG company. But then I met my partner Arvind here, and we had the idea for Vumonic. We got into a program in Estonia, raised money, and raised more money, grew clients and stuff. So that's basically how it all happened. So, yeah.
That's very interesting. So you have never had to go looking for a job because you started your own company always since the very beginning. That's quite interesting. If I'm not wrong, Vumonic Data Labs is into alternative data for global markets. Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So can you tell me a little bit about more in detail what exactly you do at Vumonic?
Yeah, sure. So, alternative data is a catch-all term for data that helps financial companies earn more money for their clients and understand markets better. So, similarly, whether if they're trading on the stock market or if it's a company itself trying to understand its consumers or the market better, this is referred to as alternative data, basically. Also, market research, depending on who's using the data and how they're using it. So, we have a particular type of alternative data called e-receipt data, which is most commonly used for understanding online markets, e-commerce markets. So companies use this data to understand what people are buying online and their online spending behaviors. Yeah.
Great, great. Quite interesting. Um, Gabriel, 2020, we all witnessed the pandemic. And I'm sure like the face of data, the face of, the exact picture of how people used to deal with data and handle data has evolved a lot. And your company, Vumonic, has been there since like I think 2018,
18,
19,
yes. Yeah.
18. So, how do you think the face of alternative data has evolved in the financial sector, and what changes do you think like the pandemic has brought?
So pandemic, we saw the percentage online penetration to offline penetration in India increased a lot. I don't remember the exact figures, but there are reports online if you search. When I mean penetration, I mean the percentage of all sales that are happening online to offline. Like, so online increased during pandemic, right?
Correct.
And then when pandemic stuff laxed, it went back a little, but still it actually proliferated more. So it anything that makes people buy stuff more online makes our business more relevant. So that's how we saw pandemic kind of like shape it. And then I think now like after pandemic, new narrative is AI, right? So like the models are very strong now, so the data can be used for more powerful reasons, because it's like you can do more powerful stuff with the data basically. So
True.
yeah.
True. And what do you think the future looks like?
Future. So yeah, I think, we'll keep, we're very techie people, right? So we work best with people who are interested in working with large sets of data. So we're going to continue to build stuff on top of those large data sets that we have. So yeah, future for us, I think, is bringing more people on board who want to work with very unique and large data sets, building our own models, building our own tools, visualizations, on top of our data, and see where that takes us. We already have like data outside of India, so we'll continue to expand globally, and like build more cool stuff that we're proud of, that challenges us.
That's amazing. So it won't be wrong to say that Vumonic is looking for data scientists, AI engineers, ML engineers, right?
Yes.
Guys, note that down.
Yeah, anyone who's looking for a job, even if it's not data. I mean, I'm sure most of the
True.
audience is data related, but
Correct.
product people, business people, yeah, like we're always looking for people that are interested to understand what we're doing.
Amazing. Gabriel, you just mentioned that you deal with companies who are into data, and I'm sure, like, there is so much of competition in the market. Everybody wants to be at the top of their game. According to you, what would help a company sustain and excel?
Yes. So I would say it happens on both sides. Like there's data originators, there's people that are providing data, and then there's people that are ingesting the data, right? So you need to develop good range of skills on both sides, because as a data provider, for example, some clients we can see very clearly are more sophisticated than others. You can tell their knowledge and understanding of the data is different based on the types of questions that they ask and stuff. So yeah, it comes on both sides. I would say you have to spend many hours working through the very fine, boring details of every single data set until you can work it in your own head backwards and forwards, basically. Yeah.
Okay. um, and you are also very closely working with companies who are into e-commerce.
Yes.
Right. So, what do you think are some of the emerging trends which are exciting and also which are creating an impact?
Yeah, great question. So, while I don't have a lot of figures on the top of my head, we have our blog, like vumonic.com/blog. Also, if you follow us on LinkedIn, we post 2 or 3 articles a week about the trends that we're seeing in our data. So whether if that's like the competition between Swiggy and Zomato, Ola and Uber, Disney Plus or Netflix, or if it's just certain different categories, how Mama Earth is doing this festive season or whatever. We have all of that data on the blog. And yeah, it's a lot of times the data is surprising. The trends that you see would not be so obvious. So, and all of that data is coming from our own proprietary data, which is pretty cool. So you can't find it anywhere else.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Because nowadays there are so many, like I would say, like every week there is a new company that is coming up and catering to the audience with the rise in social media.
Yes.
The way companies are marketing has also changed. I think because less and less people are reading a newspaper, so newspaper ads are not reaching to as many people as much as an Instagram post is. Same goes with TV advertisement, because I think today's generation is more into a smart TV, so we see very less of ads. I think the last time even I saw an advertisement was probably when I went to watch a movie.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the during the
I
trailers.
close my eyes
Yeah.
when I see one. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So that even the way marketing is happening today is very very different to what it was say 5 years back. Also, when we spoke about the competition, the consumer behavior is also changing. It is changing very very fast. How do you think can a company adapt or stay agile to such a dynamic consumer behavior?
Yeah. Well, there's B2B and B2C businesses. I think it changes differently based on your sector but really, yeah, I mean, I think it's a question I would also like the answer to. I don't know. For us, what we excel in providing to our clients is not telling them why a client bought or what might make them buy. We're very exact in telling them what they did buy, right? And exactly what they did buy. But it's a lot of times it's on the client to ingest that information along with other information they have and kind of develop a strategy. And as for marketing our own products, like I can speak at least for B2B enterprise data sales. Most important thing is building credibility. So you have to have really solid data. You have to know it inside and out, and you have to kind of demonstrate that over a period of time that's at least like kind of 2 years or something. I mean, depends, industry to industry, but you need some street cred. You need to be able to know some people, and people need to know that your data is not gonna, when they start putting their resource on it, it's not gonna have a bunch of holes and questions associated with it. So that's at least for
True.
enterprise data sales. Yeah.
True. How do you think AI or artificial intelligence is helping to turn or convert a business challenge into an opportunity?
It's AI has changed our business a lot more than any other thing, even more than pandemic, I would say. I mean, major things that have happened during our business have been pandemic and AI revolution. So yeah, it's a lot of the models that I'll give you an example, right?
Yes.
When we get some data, we need to categorize it, right? So if someone buys something, it is going to be in the men's topwear category. It wouldn't say that in the receipt itself, right? So we need to categorize that. AI makes something like this a very simple thing to do. But before, this was quite tedious, right? If you just wanted to categorize something. So for working with large volumes of data, like it used to be so resource intensive, and the output might not even be very good at the end of that. So AI has decreased the resource and increased the quality of the output by at least 1 or 2 orders of magnitude. So for people like me who have a lot of data, but not necessarily able to squeeze the juice out of it so easily, it's incredible for that.
Yes, absolutely. I think they have really made the job quite easier.
Yes, yes.
Gabriel, according to the current landscape, what do you think are the most significant challenges that the brands and businesses are facing?
I think competition is always a thing you need to think about. I think differentiating yourself, understanding a market that's always dynamically changing, fighting for talent is always difficult. And managing consumer expectations, investor expectations, your own expectations, your partner's expectations. A lot of those things have always been the same since I have been involved in startups now for some time. It's actually been a decade, I guess, now that I think about it. So all those things are same, but a lot of them, sometimes I think I wouldn't start again if I were to start today, right? But when you're starting out, you don't care about the problems, right? So you're kind of a bit crazy and you don't really mind. You just want to build some stuff with your friends and prove some stuff to yourself. So even though there's all those challenges, they shouldn't matter that much to people, right? it doesn't really matter. Just yeah.
Great. And as you spoke about competition and the change in consumer behavior, how would a small scale company or a startup compete with these sharks?
I mean, you have to figure it out and try to do it, right? Every company that's raised venture capital, many companies don't need to, right? So it's great if you can bootstrap your business, and no one's saying the venture model is the only way to go. Like venture backed model is the only way to go. I think more with AI and how everything is moving now, bootstrapped is becoming only more viable, and VC backing is only becoming less necessary compared to 2016, 2017, 18, whatever. That all being said, you really need to prove some stuff to yourself. And if the investors come along, you need to prove to them. But the investors will always ask you, why is, like, even if you just made the best pitch of your life, investor will always ask, like, tell me why Google won't come and do this, right? So there's no good answer to that question. Like, Google could come and do anyone's business. So that's why you need some deeper reason for your business, right? Because if you don't, and someone says that, then you'll get maybe demoralized or something. But yeah, in reality, the big companies can come and do everyone's business. So if you have some story or reason that you're the one who's in the best position to do this out of everyone, then that's what is compelling, I think.
So I think resilience and conviction and that, and as you said, being the best at what you're doing is what is going to help you stand out.
Yeah, it should make sense within your personal story, like why you're doing that, right? Because there's probably people who have better skills than you, right? But they're not you. Like, no one can be you. You're unique. So it has to do with your personal story. Okay, like why Google can't come and do it, even though Google can always still come and do it. But
Great.
yeah.
Gabriel, you are you're a graduate in economics and philosophy, and you're running a data science company, AI driven company. So, how important was for you to learn data science and AI, because they're completely different, economics, philosophy, and data science. So, how important was it, and how did you cope with this change?
I don't know what my career would have been like if I did engineering or something that was more hard science, like physics or mathematics in school. It's hard for me to imagine what my life like would have gone like if I did that. It's hard for me to do that in my head. I don't know. So, but that being said, like, I've spent the last 10 years of my life desperately trying to learn like engineering without learning the ground level stuff that most people get in a CS degree. So I would say, I mean, grass is always greener, and I wouldn't change anything I did, but I would definitely say, in 2023, it's so important to have a solid CS foundation. And even if you don't want to do CS, like just like math, physics, analytics, those statistics, those sorts of things we need to really like be able to do quickly in our head. So I'm not able to do those things easily. I had to work very hard to like learn those things later in life. So it would have been easier if I did my math homework.
It would have been much more easier if you would have found Learnbay at the right time.
Yes, I wish I did. Yeah.
Because here at Learnbay, as you said, that foundation is very important.
Yes.
And just like you, we get so many learners every day who are not coming from a technical background.
Yeah.
But yet they know the importance of data science and AI in today's time and age. And that is why at Learnbay we have this special classes where we train the learners who do not come from a tech background and help them excel in tech. So we have got students who are coming from arts background or from life science background or from accounts background, and yet today they are successful data scientists, data analysts, and risk managers, etc., etc. How important do you think are institutions like Learnbay in shaping the lives of individuals?
I mean, as important as possible. Like, it's it's so important to have a good, solid understanding of this stuff and also be upskilling, right? So if we have people who have good soft skill or a very specific hard skill, but it's not attached to these like other concepts that have applications in software or analysis, it's not easy to disseminate that through the organization or save the resource on that. So yeah, I mean, it's as important as possible. And also it's not something that the company, I mean, you can't go to work. You still have to go to work and work on your task, right? It has to be some sort of passive thing you're doing for a set aside amount of time through the day or on your free time or something. You need to be upskilling because you can't just cram semesters, years worth of statistics in very quick, right? So you need some sort of learning platform that has curriculum, that has checkpoints, that has guidance, mentorship, like all that stuff, or else you'll probably just fall off, right? If you're just doing something alone,
become a part of the herd. Right. Lastly, Gabriel, you have had this is your second startup, Vumonic Labs. So and you're running this since like half a decade now. What piece of advice would you give to budding entrepreneurs who are planning to start? Because you coming from a different part of the world altogether, successfully running a startup here, I think it's great, it's commendable. So what piece of advice would you give to the budding entrepreneurs who are looking for that statement from an experienced individual?
Yeah, I would say to spend a lot of time thinking about what problem you want to solve, because once you decide on that, like companies pivot and stuff, that's possible, right? But think a lot about what problem you want to solve and think about why you're solving it. Is it because no one else is solving it, right? Is it because you think it's easy to solve? Is it because you think it's hard to solve? Is it because you think you're the only one who can solve it? Is it because it's important to you personally because of something that happened to you? Or is it some random thing that you just feel like you need to do? Like, the reason that you're doing it is very important. And if you don't think carefully about it, you could just get lucky, right? But maybe also then when things get a little hard, you might get stumbled up. So yeah, think hard about what you want to build first. And then once you've decided, have a lot of conviction towards it, basically.
And be the best at what you're doing.
Yeah, and be the best, yes.
Great. So thank you so much, Gabriel. It was very insightful. I think so much of information you shared with us, because you having such a diverse experience of learning, of working, I think your insights are going to be really, really helpful to all our listeners. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks so much.
Thank you. So my dear friends, today with us we had Gabriel Appleton, the co-founder of Vumonic Datalabs, which is based out of Estonia, Europe. I hope his experiences, his insights are going to be helpful to all of us. And if you have enjoyed this video, do not forget to share it with all your friends. Give this video a big fat thumbs up and subscribe to Learnbay. Until we meet next, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.